Hello and welcome, fire signs. Fire signs being Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Welcome to your week ahead TarotScopes with me, Intuitive Rene. We are doing the week of the 3rd to the 9th of July 2023. And this week, these are the decks that I'm going to be working with. This is a deck that I don't use very often. It is a very old deck, one that I have had in my collection for many years. It is Healing with the Fairies, and it is by Doreen Virtue, and I am using the Forest of Enchantment Tarot, which doesn't really have fairies in it, but it is very much along a similar kind of vein of being in nature and being with the elementals and the fairies and all of that. So I thought they would work quite well together to give us good insight into the week ahead. So let me get rid of these so that we can obviously make space for all the other goodies. We're going to start with the Oracle. Okay, so we're going to start with the Healing with the Fairies, which is going to set the tone for the reading. It's going to give us insight into, what is the overall theme for the week ahead, what is the overall underlying kind of energy of what is coming up for us for the week ahead, and this being for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius for the week of the 3rd to the 9th of July 2023. So what is the overall theme? What can you expect? What does the week ahead look like for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, 3rd to the 9th of July 2023? Right, let's cut the deck. Taking one card and moving all of the others out of the way. Let's have a look and see what we have, fire signs. I love these backs, they're so pretty. So we have very fiery kind of imagery, or sorry, color palette here, with the very oranges and the reds, and it says awakening your true self. And here we have a vase, we have some flowers, and there we have the little fairy that is doing her little magic, doing her thing to awaken your true self. Now I'm going to leave the card over there for a brief second, and I actually want to see what the guidebook has to say about awakening your true self. I'm assuming this book is in alphabetical order. I don't work with this deck a lot. Right, there we go. Awakening your true self. So the card meaning there says, you are beginning to recover your natural identity, including your old sense of humor, your interests, your passions, and your desires. Trust that any confusion or changes that you are currently experiencing are part of your healthful evolution. I like that. Healthful evolution. There is an affirmation at the bottom which you can use. I now give myself permission to be true to myself. Affirmations are wonderful. Affirmations are something, I'm going to shuffle the tarot while I'm chatting. Affirmations are wonderful because it's basically a series of positive words that you repeat to yourself daily or as often as you like throughout the day, but repetitively, continuously. It's a series of positive words that then start implanting themselves into your unconscious, your subconscious, to help you to manifest and attract it into your life. But it also helps, affirmations help to change your thinking. So if your thinking has a tendency to be negative, a tendency to be harmful to yourself, affirmations can help you to change those kind of thinkings. So awakening to your true self. I now give myself permission to be, I forget the affirmation, I have to look again, I'm sorry. I need to remember this. And I did the same thing I did the last time. I now give myself permission to be true to myself. Okay? I now give myself permission to be true to myself. So if you can stick with that affirmation, if you can use that affirmation, it'll help you to awaken to your true self, because maybe the life that you're living right now is not really the life that you are supposed to be living, or what the universe had in store for you. All right. So we are now shuffling the beautiful tarot deck, which is the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. I have two tarot decks, Forest of Enchantment Tarot and the Tarot of Everyday Enchantment. And I always get their names mixed up, so I have to actually look at the boxes, otherwise I say the wrong ones. Right, shuffling is done. Let's put them together. Let's cut the deck and let's dish them out. Card number 1, fire signs for Aries, Leo, and Sag. We have the Seeker of Spells. Card number 2, we have the 6 of Visions. card number 3, we have the Child of Boons, and hopefully I can fit one more in. We have the 9 of Boons. Right, there we have our cards. Let's get these out of the way. So I'm going to bring this card a little bit closer because the artwork is just beautiful. So here we have this fair maiden, this lady. She is clearly walking through a forest in the middle of the night. She is in search of, she is seeking, she is in search of this flower. Now, I don't know the name of this flower, and I'm not even going to pretend to notice the little foxy in the background, but this particular flower is one that blooms for like an hour once every couple of years. And you know, if you miss it, you miss it, because it opens and an hour later, boof, it's dead, and then you have to wait years and years and years again before it happens. So it is a magical, special, once in a lifetime kind of experience. And she's been coming every night for however long because she knew that it was close to blooming, and she has been watching, waiting, waiting. And tonight, everything aligned, everything was in its place, and suddenly she gets to witness this phenomenon. For once, she gets to experience that she's been waiting for, looking for, yearning for the longest time. Seeker of Spells. When we talk about a seeker, it is Knight in traditional tarot, and spells is the suit of wands. So this is the Knight of Wands. So it's about the doing, it's about the action, it's about the initiating and making things happen and not stopping until you succeed and achieve that which you want and that which you need to. And that's exactly what she's done. She's persevered, she's pushed through, even though there may be potential danger. Now, I'm calling the fox dangerous, not because the fox is going to attack her, but because the fox is sly and the fox is waiting to see what she drops, what she leaves, what happens, so that the fox can take advantage. So we need to understand that while you are doing everything right, remember, we are awakening to our true self. While you are doing everything right, there are always others waiting to take advantage of your circumstances, of your situation. So just because you have now found this beautiful plant and you are watching it bloom, you are watching the magic unfold, you are there to experience it, don't let anybody take your thunder away from you. Don't let anybody take the magic away from you, because this is something that you've worked hard for. And I think this is the awakening to your true self. If you remember the message that we read in the guidebook, it was basically saying that whatever you're going through at the moment, everything is working out and aligning in the way that it needs to be. But you have to be assertive enough, confident enough, and strong enough to not let other people push you around and not let other people take advantage of your hard work and effort. Next card we have is the Six of Visions. So Visions is the suit of cups. So we have the Six of Cups, and here we have this young lady, and she's lying on the grass and she's reading a book, okay? And all around her are magical beings. Let's start off at the top, if I can find the camera. We have an owl, also reading a book. We have a little door there in a little house. We've got some butterflies. She's got a fairy folk here with her with the butterflies coming out of the book. And here we have a little goblin character. There's a frog jumping. And we even have a little rowboat with, I have no idea what characters those are. But she's very much in Fantasyland, isn't she? Okay? So she's like almost, even though she's lying and she's reading a book and she is active and she is in the now, but she's not actually. She's actually lost in her thoughts. She's lost in her daydream. She's lost in her reminiscing. She's lost in, Fantasyland. So here we have like working hard to achieve something really special and magical. And here we've got, drifting off with the fairies, if I can put it that way. And these two are poles apart, worlds apart. And we need to make sure, fire signs, that this week that you remain, I want to say, on the road that you need to be. We don't want to be so fixated on waiting and finding the blooming flower that we forget everything else in life. But we also don't want to be so wishful thinking and so daydreamy that we also miss the reality of life. So both of these, I'm going to call them on the extremes. And awakening to your true self, you fit into both of these worlds. You can exist in both of these quite comfortably and quite easily. But it's about maintaining balance. Okay, it's about maintaining balance. The next card we have is the Child of Boons. Child is the page in traditional tarot, and Boons is Pentacles. So we've got the Page of Pentacles. And here we have, I always want to say like a Hansel and Gretel kind of situation, because this looks like a candy cane house, okay? Let me actually bring it closer so that you can see. If we look, it looks like we've got all these cookies and these biscuits. We've got candy cane. We've got twisted candy, and even the grass looks like it's made out of candy. And it's about the temptation, because that's exactly what this card is. It's about temptation. It is about having something right in front of you. Like, again, let's go back to our very first card, our Seeker of Spells. She has finally found the blooming flower. When you see, and especially when it comes to flowers, whenever we see a beautiful flower, there's always that temptation to want to pick it. There's always that temptation to want to snap it off its base and take it home where you can enjoy it, appreciate it, and make your home look pretty. Temptation. Okay, so here we've been so fixated on one thing for such a long time. We have a tendency to want to daydream and drift off and separate ourselves from reality, separate ourselves from what the things that we want and need to do. But we are awakening to our true self. But life is full of temptations. And fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sag, we don't cope well with temptation, especially if it is biscuit house type temptation. All right, so temptation is there, and this is the thing that we need to understand, is temptation is always there. Temptation to make us driven, ambitious, and focused, or temptation to make us want to escape and hide. But temptation is always there, and it's about, again, I'm going to bring it in, it's about finding the balance. Our final tarot card for this week, fire signs, is the Nine of Boons. So the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Boons is really wonderful, because it is the card of excess. It is the card of having everything you desire and so much more. So here we can see this lady has an abundance of food, an abundance of fruit, an abundance of shelter. She has an abundance of everything to such an extent that she's sharing. Okay, so this bird is coming along. I can't actually see, but it looks like she's got one grape or whatever in her hand that she wants to offer, but she has excess. She has everything that she needs and more, and she's quite content, she's quite happy, she's living a really good life. Why is she living a good life? Because she found her balance, because she awakened to her true self. She did not allow herself to live a life of restrictions. She did not allow herself to live a life of excess. So, fire signs, what does this mean for all of you for the week ahead? Aries, Leo, and Sag, this is Spirit saying, you are so focused, you are so ambitious, there is so much that you want to do, and you know you're close. You know you're close to achieving your goals, your dreams, and your ambitions. There is a tendency to get too caught up in the fantasy. There is a tendency to get too caught up in the dream, that sometimes it may cause us to miss the reality, to miss a golden opportunity. Okay, we must maintain, watch out for, keep balance in our temptations, so that we're not tempted to do too much of either of these, to maintain our status quo. And if we do that, if we're able to maintain balance, we will have more than enough for our own needs and be able to share with those around us. So for this week, it is about awakening to your true self. It is about following your dreams and ambitions, but it is about keeping it in check as well, so that you can have success and share the success with those around you. So that's quite an interesting one for the week ahead, fire signs, and I do hope that it comes true for you. I do hope that by the end of the week, you have an abundance of whatever you need, and that it brings you happiness, joy, and success. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for your love and support. And as always, with love and blessings, from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care, fire signs.